All right, y'all ready?
Yes.
You need to put in, let's go back on the record outside the presence of the jury. Mr. Hess is here. Do we need to put anything on the record
No.
with regard to Mr. Rogers? Okay, are you ready to call witness? Sheriff? I'm sorry, while he's doing that, Mr. Fishburne, you had an objection, I think, to the limiting instruction. The limiting instruction, as I currently have it, is you are about to hear testimony. It's kind of an interesting way to stop, but you're about to hear
We
testimony.
don't need it.
I'm
We
sorry?
don't need it.
You don't need the limiting instruction?
No, we don't.
Well, it's not for you, it's for the state.
I understand. They don't need it. That's not our next witness.
Who's the next one?
One of our experts.
Okay, is that going to change? Well. Is there any reason why we can't just handle this out right now? About the limiting instruction? My understanding is that he wants to object to it. I'm ready to make a ruling on it. I don't want to forget, that's why I asked.
We'll table it, and should we make that decision, we'll come to the court before you.
And I see, is it Marchetti? Is that who your next witness is? If you want to, sir, you can come on up here.
Oh, yeah.
Is this your witness, Mr. Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
Come on up here.
Also?
Whenever the jurors come in, just remain standing.
Yes, sir.
I figured you might say this just a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Sheriff.
All rise.
Everybody turn off your cell phones, please. Please double check that. Even the lawyers. Thank you, Sheriff. You all may be seated. Sir, before you have a seat, could you please face me and raise your right hand? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth.
Yes, sir.
Please have a seat. Thank you very much. We'll be responding to questions from Mr. Prosper and perhaps also Mr. Mitchell, who's directly in front of you. You may proceed.
Sir, would you state your name, spell your last name for the court reporter, and keep your voice up loud enough so these last two ladies on the jury can hear and understand everything that you're saying?
Yes, sir. Dudley Marchetti, M-A-R-C-H-E-T-T-I.
Mr. Marchetti, how are you currently employed?
I'm a retired Dallas police detective.
And how long were you with the Dallas Police Department?
32 years, 9 months.
And can you tell the jury a brief synopsis of your assignments, your duties, your responsibilities, and the areas in which you were a Dallas police officer?
I initially went through the Dallas Police Academy, which was 4 months. I was on training for 6 months. And I spent a total of 40 months working Central Patrol, which is East Dallas, downtown Dallas, South Dallas. I then went to traffic, and I was in traffic for the next 29 years. I spent 3 years on the DWI squad. I spent 12 years working Rex on late nights, going to work at 10 o'clock at night, getting off at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I spent another 14 years as a detective.
And was there a time when you were basically a liaison between the Dallas Traffic Division and the District Attorney's Office in regards to the presentation of cases down here in front of the Dallas County Grand Jury?
Yes.
And when was that, and for how long, and what were your duties and responsibilities in that assignment?
It started in 2002 and until my retirement in 2013. I was down here 3 times a day.
What were you doing when you were down here?
I was bringing my wife to work, I was eating lunch with my wife, and I was taking my wife home.
Were you also presenting cases to the grand jury?
I presented over 800 different presentations to the grand jury.
And do those involve traffic accidents, incidents involving motor vehicles?
Yes, sir.
And were there times when you were called on to give opinions and information about the speed of vehicles in regards to the incidents that they were involved in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many times would you say you have testified as a Dallas police officer in that line of duty?
Hundreds.
And was the district attorney's office sponsoring your testimony and vouching for your credibility during that time period?
Every case.
And when you were testifying in front of the grand jury, were they vouching for your credibility in areas of expertise?
Again, every case.
Now, I will ask you if you have an opportunity in this particular case to view the body cams of the 6 officers that were at an incident on Eastgate back in January 18th of 2017.
Yes, sir. I saw 5 body cams at 2700 East Side, and there was also a body cam sync and a velocity cam video.
And did you have an occasion to sit there and on each and every one of those occasions you were watching the body cam look at the manner in which that vehicle was being driven?
Yes.
The speed with which that vehicle was being driven?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this entire line of questioning. He was qualified yesterday to render one opinion outside of what is being asked of him today.
And I don't know that either what we did yesterday has any bearing on what this man is qualified to do today.
Let me see the lawyers.
Am I slow enough? Thank you. I've had practice.
Mr. Marchetti.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Don't ask any questions, please. I need to figure something out.
I'm going to overrule the state's objection. You can proceed. Go ahead.
Ms. Marchetti, has the state sponsored you as an expert witness as to whether or not a particular vehicle is being driven in a dangerous, threatening, alarming manner?
Yes,
On few or many occasions?
almost every occasion.
You had an occasion to observe this vehicle that was being in the parking lot at Eastgate being driven that night, did you not?
On several body cams, yes, sir.
You saw it back up and strike a squad car.
Yes,
You saw it accelerate and try to run through a fence.
that's correct.
You saw it thereafter back up. Did you not?
You did.
Do you have an opinion based on your expertise and based on how many accidents have you worked?
Over 10,000.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not that vehicle was being driven in a safe manner?
It was not.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not that vehicle and the manner in which it was being driven represented a threat to officers out there on the scene?
It did.
And is it your opinion that a vehicle being driven 2 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour is capable of causing death or serious bodily injury?
It is.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not those officers were at risk in that parking lot location that evening as a result of the way that vehicle was being driven?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained. To that opinion.
Also, let me ask you this. Have you had an occasion to read the statements of an expert hired by the police in another hearing?
Yes.
I object, Your Honor, to asking about information that may or may not be in front of this jury.
Judge, he's qualified to give his opinion based on statements of other experts. This is one they hired.
On that, the objection is sustained.
Officer, can you explain to this jury why, in your opinion, this vehicle was a danger to those other officers?
Again, Your Honor, I'm going to object. This is outside the scope of his qualifications. He's now veered well past what he was qualified to testify to yesterday.
Judge, they have sponsored this officer as a witness on previous occasions about the speed and whether or not a vehicle...
Please, let us not do any more speaking objections. I'm going to sustain the objection as being outside the proffer that was made previously. Go ahead.
Ms. Marchetti, was this vehicle, in the manner in which it was driven that evening, capable of causing death or serious bodily injury?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
Mr. Mitchell?
Thank you, Mr. Marchetti. Did you do any calculations yourself on how fast that vehicle was traveling? And by that vehicle, I'm referring to the Dodge van. Did you do any calculations yourself on how fast that vehicle was traveling?
No.
So you're not telling this jury that that vehicle was traveling at any certain speed, correct?
Correct.
In fact, you can't tell them how fast that vehicle was traveling.
It's correct.
Yesterday when we talked, you hadn't seen the videos, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And it was your position yesterday that a vehicle, basically in any moving at all, is capable of causing serious bodily injury or death, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You're not saying the way, and yesterday you didn't tell me that the way the vehicle was being used in this case was as a deadly weapon because you hadn't seen the video, right?
Correct.
But today, you've changed your mind.
No, I've had more information. That's correct.
Okay.
I've changed my mind.
What? You came to this court yesterday with all the information that you believed you needed to make an opinion.
I had at that time, yes, sir, but I've had given more information, so I've revised my opinion.
So let me ask you this. Who gave you that information?
The defense?
The defense. Okay. You were withheld information before you gave your first opinion? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't ask for it. I didn't know it existed.
Because, well, You didn't know body worn camera existed?
I didn't know.
Officer involved shooting, sir?
I didn't know what existed or what didn't, and we apparently have more.
Okay, you have almost 33 years, and I'm going to object to the sidebar, Judge.
Objection sustained.
Sir, I know that you're a former Dallas Police Department officer, okay? You've spent your entire career as a Dallas police officer, correct?
Correct?
And there's a former Dallas police officer sitting right here on trial for a first-degree felony, correct?
That's correct?
All right. So, you came here yesterday to offer an opinion without all the information.
That's correct?
Okay? And now, since you've had additional information, you've changed your opinion.
That's correct?
Okay. Pass the witness, Judge.
Mr. Prosper?
Mr. Marchetti, can you tell this jury why you now have the opinion that you have?
I've seen the body cams. I've seen the car operated going forward, backwards, backwards again.
And you were given a verbal description previously of how that vehicle was being driven, were you not?
Yes,
Was it consistent or inconsistent with the videos that you saw?
consistent.
And your first opinion was that it was being driven dangerously
Correct?
and capable of causing death or serious bodily injury?
Yes, sir.
And that's still your opinion?
Yes, sir.
So your opinion hadn't changed?
No, sir.
And yesterday, I gave you the speed calculations that had been
Your Honor, I want to
discussed by the
object to
state,
this.
did I not?
I'm going to object to this. This is evidence that's not
Objection
for this jury.
The objection is sustained.
Well, did I not ask you about that yesterday?
The
I'm saying
objection
objection,
is,
Your Honor.
the objection sustained.
No further questions.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You may stand down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Call your next witness.
No, Your Honor, we need to take up the matters of this morning before we proceed.
Okay, let me see the lawyers. We're going to break for 1 hour for lunch. All rise for the jurors. Please don't discuss the case among yourselves and don't do any independent research. Court's in recess.